Welcome back to Tukr'D. What's up, everybody? We have Dani Kerr here.
What's up?
What's
How's
up?
it going?
Not too bad. I'm super happy to have you on the show.
Thank
so
you, man. I'm excited to be here.
real quick, where are you from?
Statesville, North Carolina.
Tell me about that. Like, how was that growing up in Statesville?
Growing up, it was a town that I really didn't like that much.
I thought of that because I remember Simon. Simon pissed you off when.
Yep, it still stings.
Does it still piss you off?
It still stings.
Okay. I won't do that again. I was just curious. But real quick, let's get back in the convo because we'll have a good convo. So you're from Statesville.
Yep.
You also have not been to where we are right now. You've not been to Queen City Grounds. Yeah. We love Queen City Grounds.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What's your thoughts about the start of, like, how do you like the view? How do you like what we have in here?
It's amazing. It being a coffee shop, it's already won me over, but it's really eclectic and cool, and this mocha is like, so that's what we're doing. We're gonna.
I knew it would piss her off. Does it still piss you off? I'm just playing.
I don't think I need to answer that.
I'm just playing. I bet it still pisses. I knew it pissed her off. It pisses her off. You see that, dude? She still hates it, but that's okay. It's okay. You're doing good.
I'm trying.
I talk to angels through strings. I've heard them calling my name, but the only way I'll know I've done okay is if I get to where.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Tukr'D. We are shooting this now in 2025.
Yeah.
Dang, where'd the time go?
That's
2025.
crazy.
I'm still stuck in 2014. I don't know about you, but that was like the year that I feel like that's when I don't know why I feel like life started then, but that's when my brain got activated.
Yeah, it's like it checked out then.
And
it's like, all right.
I still go back to that thinking like it's still 2014. But anyway, we are with Dani Kerr, America's Got Talent semifinalist.
Oh.
She has a song that got over 140K on Spotify. She got approved by Simon Cowell. Ridiculous. And she got a style that could light up the world.
Oh,
like, I'm already looking at the boots. Like,
thank you so much.
I don't know if the
man.
camera can see it. Can you show the boots real quick? Like, my goodness. I don't
Queen
got
of
that.
Heart
I got
action.
hey dudes. I didn't get that message. You didn't text me.
We'll have to coordinate next time.
I hope so because I have boots. I have
Do you?
boots. Yeah. I just can't bring them out because I don't have a moment to. I didn't get the text. So just next
Now
time
you
we'll
know.
talk about that.
It's always the moment around me with boots.
I
You
like them.
just-
They're beautiful. But
Thank you.
so we kind of talked about it in that little intro, but
Mhm.
you are from Statesville.
Correct. Yep.
Talk to me about Statesville. What is special about Statesville and then the experience you had growing up there with music?
Yeah. So when I was growing up, when I was a kid, and it still has this reputation to people that don't live there, but it wasn't really the place that you wanted to be back then. But I feel like in the last 10 or so years, there's been like a lot of like local growth.
Yeah.
And it became like a very pivotal point for me in music. Like if I wasn't living there, I definitely wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
And now it's just become this cool, very locally driven town, very very inspired town. It's like coming
Yeah.
up in all of the right ways, I feel like. So
Okay.
that whole community has been so supportive of me. So like I said, without Statesville, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
That's
so
cool. Well,
that's-
I wanted to another reason why I love that you're from a town that is just it's not the biggest. It's like is because you, and we'll talk about this later in the pod, but you were on America's Got Talent. You made it really far. I bet that support from that town was probably through the roof. So I want to, just from my interest, tell me about how much support was given to you from Statesville. Like, was there anything that was crazy? Like, was there any giant gatherings while you were on the show?
Yeah.
Like, what did you? Yeah. Tell me
It
about
was.
that.
I think just about every venue, definitely every venue that had music, and then, almost all the restaurants and local businesses, they all had like watch parties.
Really?
And people just like, it was insane the amount
Damn.
of love and support, because.
And they probably didn't know when you were coming on to the show, right? Like, or maybe did they?
So I got to make the announcement. I think it was like within
Oh,
a week
yeah.
of the airing that I was going to be on there, a
Wow.
week or two. So, but everybody rallied together so quick, and the
Yeah.
newspaper got onto it and promoted it, and it was just like a
Dang.
very, very blessed experience, I have to say.
Well, and one thing I really appreciate about, and again, we can kind of start going into it, is like you were so yourself on the show. Like
Thank
I've now
you.
met you like a little bit, and we've had conversations. I've gotten to see you perform live, which is a treat, by the
Oh,
way.
thank
like
you so
are
much,
so
man.
stunning live.
Thank you.
Very like I could this big compliment. I could fall asleep to your music.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'd say Marsha, you could fall asleep to her music. I'm not kidding. Like you hear her music, like I've gotten close. But when I was watching the clip back of you performing on America's Got Talent, I just noticed how it like when I saw you there and now I talked to you and when I met you for the first time, it's just the same. There's no
Thank you.
difference. It's very just like the camera. It doesn't matter if camera's on or off. Like it's just you.
Yeah.
And I found that very just. It was nice to see. You know, you never know
thank
with the
you.
music industry if there's a personality change happening, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I loved how that was like, no, this is me. Like I love me, and
Thank
that
you
was
so
just
much,
really
man.
cool.
Yeah, it definitely comes from you know, where I write as from like a writer's perspective. It's very, you know, very real and raw. You know, I'm not something that I'd like to be better at is writing kind of like stories of other people. That's something that I'm working on. But
Okay, so is that a trouble for you? That's how I write sometimes.
yeah.
Because that's actually more easier for me than writing about my own life.
Yeah, see, and it's just different people have like different things, and I feel like, you know, the drive in me has been, you know, just kind of the introspective stuff. I'm kind of like introverted in a way,
And that's easy to write about. Like you can
oh yeah,
really.
yeah, that stuff. So I'm trying to like make myself get out of the box and write, you
Ain't
know,
the
stories
box
about other
fun?
people. Yeah.
Ooh. Marsha, I hate the box. I hate just like writing outside of your box of another perspective. I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with it because it took me a while to make my own music. Like
Yeah.
when it came to okay, if I'm gonna put out stuff, it is gonna be about my life. So talk to me. I always like to ask this question for Tukr'D because I feel like everybody has a different answer. When it comes to your writing process, because everybody has a process, what are the specifics that you have to have for the writing process? Where do you have to be? What vibe do you have to be in? How does that all start?
So funny enough, I really there's no set process for me or no
You could be
just anywhere. You know,
at
it's
a
kind of
funeral
like,
and
you know, I've had you know, a lot of strange instances where actually most of the stuff that I write just comes like literally out of thin air. It's like it's almost like there's this like little antenna. Me and my buddy Steven Winger talk about that, and it's just like whenever that kind of comes to you, it's like right then and there. You know, I have to put it
Yeah.
down. Like I'm like, I got to get it down right now. If I'm at a funeral or, you know, if I'm at a funeral, usually I'll hum it in my head. I won't pull out my phone in the middle or a notebook in the middle of the funeral.
You never know when good stuff hits. I hate to say it. You just gotta be active with your brain and and writing.
when, you know, when inspiration comes.
Oh
you
my
know?
goodness. I have to get into a mode. I feel like
Yeah.
I get into a mode at a coffee shop for
Yeah.
sure. And this is so bad. Mom, you're not listening, even though I know you are. But I'll write on the road.
I feel that. I'm
you know
guilty.
that, Marsha? I'll write on the road. Like I'll write lyrics on. Do you write on the road too? Because she's an artist.
Okay, so she,
Another amazing photo of Marsha. Bing. I'm gonna have photos like ting, like pop up exactly. She can write her ass off. She's a great
that's
writer.
amazing.
But you write on the road too, just like me. Voice memo. Okay, so I still be even through voice memos. I have the notes app out, but I'm not typing. I'm like doing the audio thing like while I'm like write this. Oh, it's so bad.
I'm guilty of typing.
Say what?
I said I'm guilty of typing.
On the
If it
road.
got-
Oh,
You're right.
It still happens though,
But I
because
just-
some stuff be hitting. That's when I do the open verses. Have you ever thought of doing? This is random, but have you ever thought of like open versing one of your songs? Have you ever seen those on like TikTok?
No.
Oh my gosh, that's a dream of mine to like when it comes to Tukr'D out, and this is just a dream. But I would love to open verse the artist songs that the artist songs of the artists that I have on here. Like, so say like November, for example. Here's a cover art of November. Ding.
Right.
Say like you took out one of the verses, like the second verse, and it's just the production of like, you know, the music, not your
Okay.
vocals, and then you let someone else feature on it by making their own lyrics for it.
That's really cool.
I love doing that.
That's
like,
really cool. Yeah.
Dani, like, too much. Marsha knows. I'd be like, Marsha, look, I got a new open verse. Like, ridiculous.
Well, if you ever feel inspired, you feel free to.
Well, that's the thing. If you presented me with that of just part of the production, I've actually asked artists before. Like, I would just do it for fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. I would love that. That would be cool.
We'll talk about that in post.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. That's awesome.
We'll talk about that in post. Real quick, I wanted to mention your style.
Thank you.
One thing I already love about what I've seen with just photos of you performing or just, videos, and even now, is that you have a style where you don't see what you're wearing just often, like, which I love.
Thank you.
And your hair, you have dreads in your hair, which is beautiful.
Thank you.
Tell me how this all came together and, like, where maybe you discovered your first, like, I don't even know what to call it. What is this? Like,
I call it a poncho, but
okay.
I don't know if that's right or not.
I thought it was a quilt. I thought you cut up a quilt and said, "Give me that."
Like it.
So tell me how maybe the discovery of some of the looks, because you have a beautiful hat, you have the
Thank
stylish
you.
boots, you got like the hair. Tell me about all that a little bit.
Well, thank you so much. It's definitely, I just kind of collect random pieces that I like, and then.
Oh, you're at flea markets like me.
Yeah, or hand-me-downs like this hat.
I live at those places.
This hat was actually made for me after AGT.
What?
By a wonderful lady. She killed it. It's got the Queen of Hearts on there.
I see that.
Joker
What the
too. Wild Child Fire Hat Designs. That was a tongue twister, but Wild Child Fire Hat Designs. We'll link her. She's amazing. She's from Statesville, actually, and she made me this hat. So that's where that came from. And then this was a hand-me-down.
Those
I'm wearing underneath.
Those can be really good.
I know. Actually, I feel like the best clothing items I have, or like the best pieces I have, are always thrifted or given to me or passed down or something. So it's just,
that might be the most underrated way to have clothing.
Oh, like, absolutely. I mean,
my goodness.
The most unique pieces I find are thrifting or going to vintage or antique stores.
Is there one piece of clothing that you have that you love wearing, but it is so out there and you know it? Like, is there a design where you're like, ooh, this is crazy. I know it's crazy, but I love that I have this.
Man, I feel like that's a lot of what I wear here recently, but I never think about it. I'm just like, this looks cool.
I love that.
Because there's a lot of people have rules with like fashion or stuff. It's like you can't wear stripes and polka dots or mixed patterns and stuff. And and I guess. I don't know why I try to rebel against that. Now,
well, you have to as a musician.
There has to be a feng shui, but there's like
and if
bend
it's
the rules
not you're not comfortable. As much as I love how people love certain images and artists stay by a certain image for a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to change it up, or at least go after if it's something that you don't like, or even like you have to do something different and go after different styles, right?
Yeah, and I feel like part of it for me too is just the artist's expression. It's just like another way to express art. Through your clothing and your style and stuff like that. So I just have a lot of fun with it. And
I love it.
We were talking earlier about coordinating on outfits, and me and my band will do that, especially the girls.
She
in the
didn't
band.
text me. I don't know what the deal
I
is.
know.
We'll talk.
I know.
Like,
I gotta get better at that.
Yeah, I don't. Yes, you do.
I'll send you the memo. I'll be like, "This is the vibe we're going for today."
I needed it, and I didn't get it.
Now I know.
That's okay. Whatever. I want to real quick talk about just like the boots, because they are really stylish.
Thank you.
Where? So in your brain, you were like, man, I want to get a crazy nice boot. I want to get something. But like, how did you come across this idea of having Queen of Hearts with a cowboy girl on the Queen of Hearts? Like, talk to me a little bit about this.
Well, I have to thank the algorithms for this find. I've always loved the Queen of Hearts, so that's always been like a cool symbol to me. Yeah. I mean, and think about like the line from Desperado, that Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts is always your best bet. Kind of that whole thing behind that. I've always kind of been obsessed with the lore of that, and the algorithms, because they're good at what they do, showed me these, and I was like, yep, I gotta have those.
They be getting you hard on that too. They be showing you stuff where it's like, I don't need that, and I know I don't got money.
Yeah.
But my goodness, I'm gonna get that, and then you end up getting it within 10 seconds. It's like, I know, Marsha. I've shown up on the show with some ugly crap. You know that, and you looked at me and been like, "That's an algorithm buy," and I've been like, "No, it's not." But then you look at me again and you're like, "No, that's an algorithm buy," and I'm like,
I know, it's like,
Shit.
are you inside of my brain? Like, what? How do you?
"Well,
How
she
do y'all
knows it 'cause
know?
the shit I wear can be bad. Don't judge me that hard anymore. I know you judge me from afar. She judged me too much. I don't get it."
You know.
I love that you wear this type of stuff 'cause
Well,
one
thank
thing
you.
I appreciate is when it's obvious that a style is them.
Well, thank you.
And like I can't unsee you without, like, if you wore something different,
Mm-hmm.
it wouldn't be right. Like, this style is so interesting, and
Thank
it's
you
what
so
I
much,
now can
man.
just like picture you in, and it's beautiful. It's something I hope to get there. I don't
Thank you. You just gotta get past like the
I just gotta get
feeling
more
uncomfortable.
tattoos, right?
I mean, well, if you want to, if that's ooh. But yeah, you just gotta like not feel weird about it. Just like go with it.
Yeah.
Just be like, no, I'm feeling this.
I'm getting there.
yeah,
I'm
you,
getting
you
there.
got it. I believe in you.
Thank you, Dani.
I'm gonna check in on you. Like, how's your fit game going?
So we're gonna jump into a game that I like. I don't even know how to name this game, but it's 3,000 questions about me, and the whole goal. These are random questions. I don't know what's about to be asked. It could be something as what's your favorite cheese, or I don't even know. But it's random, and the whole goal is just to talk. We'll do maybe 3 questions and just talk about them for a second. All right. So, I mean, we can start with this 'cause why not? What
Okay.
singer's voice gives you chills in a good way? I'll answer 2.
Ooh. It's got to be Janis Joplin,
Oh.
mostly. I mean, there's a bunch that do that, but she sends me for sure.
What was the first moment of you figuring out Janis and being floored by her music?
So, when I was a teenager, I would say I was about 15. I used to, skate along train tracks and skate all around town, and I was just this like
You
little.
did say you're a skater.
Well, I'm not anymore.
Do we have a photo of skating, Dani? Please say yes.
Yes, I do. There is. Just a little grungy kid, and the first 2 that I found by her were me and Bobby McGee, obviously,
Yeah.
and Mercedes Benz, and it was just like, to me at that time too, like I felt just like a little road
Yeah.
punk kid, and I was like, yeah, I relate to this. But when I got older, I started listening to, some more of her catalog, and specifically her Woodstock performance. And I'll never forget hearing Cosmic Blues from that performance for the first time. And it's just like, it's so raw and it's so powerful. And that
Yeah.
it just like, I just bawled like a baby. Every time I
Really?
hear that and Cry Baby, bawl like a baby.
Dang. Well, just to kind of go off of that, you also love Dolly and Celine. Like,
Mhm.
you actually model a lot of how your vocals are with them,
Thank you.
which I didn't know, which is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. Not so
like-
much Celine. I wish. I admire her a
You
whole lot.
can sing close to Celine.
She's
well,
just a whole nother
I, was-
level.
I do my research, but it's either that like Celine is a big just influence on like your love for music,
Mm-hmm.
and Dolly as well, but that's really cool.
Yeah,
Let's go
thank
into another one. Let's see. These are always so funny to look at. See, it always takes me a while.
No worries. Find a good one.
Oh, this is a great question. It's a deep question. So
Okay.
we're going to talk deep for a second.
Okay.
What do you think is the most harmful thing a person can do to themselves? Like, we'll stick with, we'll go away from
Wow.
physical
Okay.
and mental. Like, what is something that's like, maybe just for you, what is something that like, has not helped you, and
Mhm.
you've done better with getting away from it in a mental state, if anything.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is a really good question.
That's a deep that's what we do on Tukr'D. We ask deep
yeah,
questions.
I love that. Actually, I think, what we feed ourselves, and not just like the food that we eat, that included, but, what we let ourselves absorb, whether it be like energy from people, toxic
Yeah.
energy, whether it be, being gravitated to kind of dark things.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe not paying attention enough, or, paying attention to the wrong things can really, for me, I've found can really caused like this whole spiral thing. So really just, I guess if you wanted to boil it down, is not being aware. Like, I feel like that can be really dangerous.
Is there a moment where there was an actual, like, okay, I need to get a handle on this type feel?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was coming through school and when I was a teenager, I gravitated towards like a lot of dark things. And, you know, once I got older, you know, I'm not saying that there's anything bad in that, doing that. But I realized for me that, you know, it was kind of causing this whole thought process. And because I was attracted to those things, that's kind of what I was attracting as well, you know. So I found that if I kind of pay attention to things that are positive, or if I kind of consume myself with more of that kind of stuff, my whole mental health just is in a lot better of a state. So I know that's a weird answer for that, but
it's not weird because we are weird on Tukr'D Out. And that's a great answer. From me personally, I've noticed one of the biggest things that has impacted me, where it's like you need to get a handle on this, like it can be detrimental, is procrastination has to be one of the most, like, if you get stuck in a thing where you're scrolling too long or things don't get done that you wanted to get done, that just take a little bit of energy, it can go against you so fast mentally. Because like Tukr'D Out, for example, Tukr'D Out is something I'm so proud that I'm making, but my goodness, there's times where I procrastinate about it, and I dislike that, and it's so, like, this stuff, I now have a rhythm with the podcast, but oh my goodness, it can be hard. It can be hard to, if I can get stuff done, oh my goodness, my mental is so happy. Yeah. But if I don't, just because I have deadlines now, it's interesting how just procrastinating can really F you up if you don't get a handle on it.
And then it becomes like a pattern, you know, if you
agree.
If you, you know, and I deal with the same thing with music too.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like I totally get what you're saying.
My gosh.
It's like,
because you don't want to get into that. Sometimes it's writing, like you don't want to have to go down that path because, and I've told artists this, and I think all artists can agree with this. Music is one of the things where you have to keep messing up and messing up lyrics and writing the wrong lyrics to get to the right lyrics. That can be stressful very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I feel like with something like that, on that side of it, you know, I try not to force it so much because of that. But you know, you definitely want to. There's also this like balance. Like you don't want to force it out, but you do need to make yourself do it so that you get better at it. So it's like,
do you believe? So someone told me something recently, and I want another musician's opinion. They told me straight up, Tucker, writer's block is not a thing, and I agree now. Do you agree?
I do agree. I mean, I do agree that there is something that happens that kind of causes what we feel like is writer's block.
I think that's that perfection side.
It is, yeah. It's kind of like our, like, when I say ego, I don't necessarily mean that. I just mean in like the neutral term of like our human ego. Like I feel like it gets in the way of making art sometimes, and I feel like that's one of those times. But you know, if you shift up your perspective, you know that's not there anymore. Or shift up your scenery, or you know, it's
And well, one thing I've done, and this is just something I'm proud that I can say that I'm doing. Marsh, you'll be proud of me for doing this on the usual, and I try to do it each week. I have someone give me a topic that's the most random topic in the world. It's anything, like anything. And I write a song about it. Anything, I don't care. So my friend gave me, like, I want you to write a song about the Charlotte skyline. I was like, okay. Wrote one. It took me 2 days. Wrote it, done.
That's awesome.
My friend also gave me a story about, actually, I gave my friend a story about how he comes in to his girlfriend's house and he sees a pair of shoes that are not his and they're bigger.
Ooh.
And it's like, write a song about what you're feeling about that first moment. And it's like, that builds your brain really well, because you're not, because ultimately writing is it's the muscle. You have to make sure you're working it. So I agree, like that perfection side doesn't always need to be there. Yeah. And writer's block sometimes can, if you go into more of a random, more spontaneous way of writing, I feel like you can get out of writer's block pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, last question. Let's see what we got. If you had to take superhero sides, and we're not going to get into a debate about this because there's a right answer. If you had to take superhero sides, are you Marvel or DC?
You're probably not going to like this answer.
Yep.
I don't.
That's why we're not going to. get into an argument about this because there's the right answer.
I don't even know. I don't know.
Okay.
That's a
you
horrible
on
answer.
3. 1, 2, 3. Marvel.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. That's
What
my
did you-
answer. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't.
Coward.
I
Anyway.
I don't know. Okay. Who's Marvel?
Who's Marvel?
Who's part of Marvel?
Iron Man.
Okay.
Cap America. Black Panther.
Okay.
Scarlet Witch. So many others. Who else we got? Hulk. And then we
Okay.
got DC. On the other hand, we got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman. I like Aquaman.
Okay.
It's just
I do like Batman. I like Superman too. I don't know.
Marvel, guys. Marvel. Thank you.
Marvel's the right answer.
That's right. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the podcast, and thank you to our sponsor, Queen City Grounds, for providing the location. You can find a perfect blend of coffee, cuisine, and entertainment while you are here. It is in-house made coffee. There is brunch and dinner options. There is a full bar and amazing live events. So come check it out and stay grounded. Thank you to Sonorous Wave for powering this podcast. Sonorous Wave is an amazing music collective based here in Charlotte. Their slogan is artistry versus the algorithm, and they are so good at putting all events into a music setting, and they kill it. They are amazing with every event they are in association with, so check them out. So I want to get into something where I feel like I always like talking about stuff where, again, people might not know all of what's happening. They can only see what they see. And obviously you were on America's Got Talent, which here's a photo, ding, of you singing in front of, I don't know how many people were in that theater. It had to be at least a good, 10,000? Like, a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I'd love to break down just like how all that went and funny, interesting stories you can tell about that. The first question I want to ask you is about the moment of you singing and getting stopped by Simon Cowell. Because my goodness, can I just say, the crowd hated his ass for that.
Yeah.
They booed his ass out of the theater almost, which is probably not uncommon.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably very common. But, like, what was your... take me through the mental of that whole moment.
So, I don't know how I can say this, but how things happened on TV were not how they happen in real life.
What you mean? Can you say it?
I don't know.
Ooh. So...
There was a lot of editing.
A lot of editing?
Yeah.
Really? So, when it came to him stopping you, that was like, there's no...
It didn't happen.
What you
didn't
mean?
happen.
You got... Then what was the raising of the hand?
It never happened. I know.
What do you mean it didn't happen? Was it staged?
This is like a Santa's not real moment. It's like...
That's okay. Well, tell me about performing. So you... you walk out and you did perform 2 songs.
Mm-hmm.
Did they ask you to perform it like back to back?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So how did that all... And okay, so when he... just question. Did he raise his hand like after each song? After that first song? No.
Never even in my audition.
Really? So that was editing.
They call it Frankenbiting in Hollywood.
Cool.
It's like, it's...
So, but they did ask you to perform another song.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so how did that all go? So they heard the first song. Could they tell you were nervous? Was that, or
no?
They just asked you to perform too.
So, again, I don't really know if I can. Whatever. It's worth. It's
over
anyways.
now.
They're not gonna find it.
It's
surely.
over now.
Anyways, right? Yeah. So, in real life, I walked out and I did my first song, finished the first song, and got a standing ovation after that
not
song.
November.
Not November.
Yeah. What was the first song you...
You Can't Live Here No
Okay.
More. And so that was really my first choice to do on the show. Like, that was my first choice song. And got the standing ovation, and everybody sat back down. So I started crying as soon as everybody stood up, because it was just like, it was so powerful. And so if you look back, you can see me like smiling through my crying.
Yeah.
It was so crazy how they did all this. But anyways, everybody sat down, and, Simon gave me good praise and said, "This is your stage. I want to hear that. I want to hear your other song, because that was great."
That's great.
So it was,
that's not a knock on America's Got Talent.
No,
that's
no,
just
no.
like,
that's
it's
great.
TV.
It's reality
TV's TV. But like, That's awesome that they love that. And then, well, okay, so November was performed.
Yes.
Was it another standing ovation?
It was, yeah.
Okay, because that song went off. Like, that was
Thank
140K on Spotify, probably way more on YouTube and Apple Music and way in other places.
Thank you. It was crazy.
My goodness. And so during that moment of you performing, like, what is that mindset? Because that's a whole different stage than just performing at a So Far show.
Right, yeah.
Like, so just tell me about how that mindset was going into just walking on stage.
Yeah. So, you're backstage, you're waiting, you're
with
watching.
Terry, by the way.
Terry, yeah.
Is he that handsome?
He is that
He's
handsome,
like,
and he is one of the nicest people I have ever met.
Marsh, I have a question. You think Terry's fine? Terry Crews? Terry Crews? Oh, no? Oh, shoot. Sorry, Terry. But you saw him, and you're like, ooh, hey.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good-looking fella.
Yeah.
He looks like he does. He does look better in person, I feel
it.
like.
He
doesn't look.
Hey. That's what he does.
He doesn't
hey,
look
hey,
like.
hey. I know. That's because but that was his own. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. But so you're backstage. You get to meet Terry, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Tell me, and then keep going.
So Terry was super nice. Terry, I have to give praise to him because the whole time he was like so interactive on and off the camera.
Yeah,
like he was just the
awesome.
nicest guy, like genuinely.
Yes.
So.
If y'all don't know, Terry Crews, bing.
It was really crazy though. Like it was almost like, I don't know. It's like adrenaline took over. Like as soon as I walked out onto the stage, because like it's just this realization that like, okay, now I'm on camera.
Yeah, you gotta go.
This is it. Like this is the moment. You know, it's like can't do it again. You just gotta go for it. And
that's crazy.
Inevitably I did have nerves, but I felt pretty confident about going out there at that point. I was like, you know what?
You perform
YOLO.
these songs enough. Like, you're like, I got this.
Yeah, it's like,
work.
just enjoy. I tried to just enjoy the moment while I was in it and tried not to think about it too much, but just like be like, well, whatever happens, I'm going to sing these songs. And
that's awesome.
It was crazy though, because I felt like after the show, after doing it, it took like a few weeks, but then it finally hit me what had just happened. So it's like the adrenaline, like
which is maybe actually kind of a healthy thing, because you want to be professional in those moments. And I actually was going to ask you about where were you, and tell me about kind of the excitement that you got when you got the call of like all that. So just like, holy crap, I'm about to perform in front of Simon. I'm about to perform in front of da 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 da.
Yeah, thank you for asking that, because that's a really interesting story how that all come down. So this was 2023, and it was probably late February, March.
Dang, it was recent.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
And they'd called my manager first, because that's whose number we have out there.
Yep.
And I was actually Instacarting because I didn't make enough that month playing music.
Wait, they contacted you, or you did apply?
No, I did not.
What?
So they scouted people out over the internet.
Secret of AGT right there.
Right, and it was cool. They found me through a newspaper article that Statesville had written about a gig that I had done.
Dang, they're diving deep. They went all the way to Statesville. Said, "Get her!" Like,
it was crazy. We couldn't believe it was happening. So I'm Instacarting, trying to make some extra money because I didn't have enough for rent that month.
On that musician stuff.
And I'm in the middle of the grocery store getting these people's order, and my manager calls, and she's like, "You'll never guess who just called me."
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, I'm thinking that it's some.
You probably hung up that phone. You said, "Yeah, right."
She did. She was like, "I'm not sure that it's real, but I think it's
could
real."
We'll find out.
And I was thinking that it was some like big local gig or something, or we landed a gig like in Charlotte or something, because it was very, very low key at that point. But she was like, a producer from America's Got Talent just called me, and so here I am in the middle of the grocery store with these people's Instacart order, on the phone with her for like 40 minutes, crying in the wine aisle, trying to find her wine. And
what? Okay.
It was a whole thing.
That's funny.
And people didn't care that their order was slightly behind, but
I would hope not.
But yeah, it was crazy, man. It was just like a realization of like, oh my gosh, like, everything that I've been working for didn't really have any set plan as to where it was going to go, has found its way to this opportunity. So it's cool.
My goodness. And like, how was that preparation? Was all that getting to the show like, because I don't have access to your full episode, But did they come to Statesville? Because I know the Voice does this,
Yeah.
like where they'll do interviews like at their homes or stuff like that. Did they do that for you?
They did not. So they just they flew us out to California.
And that's where they all interviewed you and stuff like that. Dang, man.
Yeah, so it was wild. We had to do, I think, 1 or 2 phone interviews.
Yeah.
And then it was like, from there, they're like, okay, well, can you come out in a couple weeks and film the audition? And
that's
we
crazy.
did.
And then boom, November, all that stuff. A lyric I love. You already said it. I've talked to angels through strings.
Thank you, man.
Marsha, you got to hear that lyric. Lyric goes hard.
Thank you.
My goodness, but that's awesome that you got that experience.
Thank you
very,
so
very
much.
happy that you got that experience.
Thank you.
All right, so we have 2 more segments. This one is a new segment. It has a funny, catchy name, and hopefully there's going to be a logo for it. It's called History in a TukShell. No clap. You didn't even clap. Like, oh, my God. We'll talk about that in post, Marsha. Say what? History in a TukShell. All right. So here's what we're going to do. All I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some photos.
Okay.
And I want you to explain and give me a little history behind these photos of things where it's like, oh, yeah, like, da-da-da-da. These are good photos. Like, let me tell you.
I'm
So
scared.
we're going to start. Nah, you can't be. All right, and they're going to pop up here, too. So, all right, we're going to start with this one.
Okay, I love that picture.
Explain this photo.
So my papa, he's passed away now, but he was a long-time horseman.
He was a what type horseman?
A horseman, just a long time.
Oh, long time.
He was a real life cowboy. And so that was over at his farm, which has been in my family since 1790.
Still is.
Still is.
Come on,
Still's
Statesville?
there. Yep, Stony Point,
Man.
Statesville. And so on that horse, I was actually cutting cattle. So do you know what that?
No.
So it's a rodeo sport, not literally.
Oh shoot, you mean?
No animals were harmed.
See, I don't have no.
So it's a rodeo sport, and basically
You get them?
you're in a round ring,
Yeah.
and sometimes you have a team that's
You trying to hurt them?
basically, so you have to go into the herd of cattle, and
Yeah.
you pick one of them out, and then you keep that cow away from the other cows.
It's a game.
Yeah, it's like a sport.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing in that
I bet
picture.
that cow is terrified.
Yeah,
I bet they think like.
and the horses are ruthless. They're like,
oh my gosh.
they
those
pretty
horses,
much
man,
do the
they
work
just,
too.
They just get out of here.
Yeah,
Get that
You get-
cow.
they'll bite them sometimes. You get
Oh my
deducted points
gosh.
if they do that. But
All right,
yeah, they
that's
get
good.
intense. Yeah.
I like that. All right, so that's what that was. All right, let's talk about this.
Okay, that's me up to bat. I played softball super intensely from the time that I was 6
Really?
years old to 16. And
Okay, so you were not playing. Because I saw some great photos. You had some
Thank
awesome
you.
softball moments. Played in high school. Did you play in college?
I didn't end up playing in college.
Okay, but
no.
you got offers.
I did get offers.
Okay, where'd you almost go? Or maybe or
Peace College was the one that I was.
You went to William Peace almost? Dude, I went to Peace.
For real? No way.
I went to William Peace.
Are you for real?
Yes, that was my 4-year. Marsha, didn't I go to Peace?
I'm assuming it's
Exactly.
the same one. That's cool.
Dang, they're not bad at softball.
That's
so you got
wild.
recruited by what's his name? Or her name? Shoot, who's the softball coach? Who'd you get recruited by?
I didn't even end up getting
Okay.
far with it.
Okay, so
they had
but
just
you
sent
saw
out an
it.
off. Yeah.
Dude, I
Um,
went there. I ran cross country
That's
and track
cool, man.
there.
And I almost did it. The only thing was I wanted to do culinary.
oh, okay.
And no culinary school that I wanted to go to had
Gotcha.
softball, so I
Oh my
had to give that up,
gosh,
unfortunately.
Peace.
But yeah.
That's great. I bet you were hitting dingers.
I was hitting dingers my
I'm
senior year.
not
I hit
surprised.
6, I believe.
Not surprised.
So.
Nope. All right.
It's cool.
I'm excited to talk about this. Let's talk about Marc for a second. Let's talk about Marc. Let's talk about Marc.
Whoa.
So, okay, one thing I love about him, just to give a little story about him,
Yeah.
he has one of the best YouTube videos of all time.
Mhm.
Do you know what I'm talking about? When he talked to a bunch of middle schoolers.
That's what he was doing.
Was that okay? So
we were in high school, but he came and did
yes,
that
and
at
did
my
he
school.
tell the story about his mother?
Yeah.
I bet. Were you in tears?
Oh my gosh, we were
Oh
all crying.
my
Like if you look in that
gosh.
picture, you can see like
Oh
tears in
my
my eyes.
gosh. He's a wrestler. He was a
Mhm.
wrestler. WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Marsha, this dude, like,
That's so cool that you know him.
of course,
That's
because
awesome.
first of all, he did WWE. He was in
Mhm.
WCW, and then his video made me cry. You got to see his video. He was talking about just how to. It was like how to care for people better, or just how to. Do you remember it specifically?
I don't remember the specifics, but
Oh
I remember
my
we were
goodness.
so moved by
Oh my
that. Like
gosh.
it was
It is.
insane.
It's one of those like just videos where it's like you have to watch this and you'll cry type
Mhm.
videos on YouTube. And it was about him talking about losing his mother. and just the time of and the time and the mental that he was going through in that.
Mhm.
Oh, it's crazy. That's cool though.
It
Marc
was
Mero,
super inspiring. Yeah,
respect,
that
Marc.
was awesome.
Come on the podcast, maybe.
Yeah.
I know you're not music, but I'll have you on the podcast. Let's talk about what in the hell
Okay.
happened here. Do you see this? What happened there? What happened there?
So
That's special effects, I would hope.
it is special
Ooh.
effects. So I was before I was on this side of the stage, I was on the back side of the stage. So I did theater tech.
Okay.
So I was like stage management, costume design, lighting, all that stuff. So that was part of my theater program
You
in high
just said,
school.
Let me just put this on real quick.
Yeah, and I had a softball game that same day.
And did you play with this on?
No, I
Oh
like I
my
had to rip it
gosh.
off, but I had
I
like
bet
all
some
this
people
gunk.
were like, dude, like
Like what happened?
that's it. All right, last one for History in a TukShell. Let's talk
All
about
right.
your friend here.
Oh.
Let's talk about who in the hell put this lizard on your gecko.
Yeah.
My bad. On your finger. Who's that?
So that was my leopard gecko named Lena,
Lena.
and I would actually sing to her before I sang in front of
Oh.
anybody else.
Oh.
And she totally dug it. She was all for it.
Did she even move when you sang it, or was she just like?
She just like would like come over and just
Oh, she came to you.
yeah. It was
that's
so
precious.
sweet.
All right,
Oh,
that's precious.
I haven't seen a picture of Lena in a long time.
That's what we do here. We take, we go into the history in a
good.
TukShell. All right, so this last little segment, I'm a big fan of making sure that the artists that I have on this podcast know that they've impacted my life. And I'm talking like it might be in a subtle way, but I'm just a fan of that simple thing. So I wanted to tell you a story just about when I first saw you perform. So I first saw you perform for So Far Sounds at a shoe company place.
Mm-hmm.
And, So Far Sounds, you put a concert in different locations. So we went to this one place, and you were on the bill with 3 other artists.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to be one of the most talented shows that
Oh
I've
my gosh,
ever
it was
seen.
amazing.
Oh, my gosh. Like, I'm going to get Lucas Delgar on this show pretty soon. Here's Lucas Delgar. Dude can sing his butt off. And he was on the bill for this.
Mhm.
Amazing freaking show. You were first,
Mhm.
second, first. And one thing you did for me, I already said it kind of earlier, you put me at least into a very meditative state of just relaxation hearing your voice.
Well, thank you.
It was so soothing and so easy to just like get locked in, not only to your music, but just into your vibe, to what you were the stories you were telling when you performed the songs like November. Like, it was ridiculously
Thank you.
calming and something that in the moment I always am a fan of when I notice that I'm in the moment with a musician where I'm listening to them show their craft
Mm-hmm.
and I can only focus on them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give credit to that. It is because music's built for that. You were supposed to get stuck in that 3 minutes that you're listening to a song, and that's all you're focusing on.
Thank you so much.
And you did that. Not only for me, it was obvious you did it to the rest of the audience, but for me, I got stuck on those songs that you
Thank
performed.
you.
It was so freaking pretty. And again, I want to shout out your style because you came up on stage, and when I first met you, I was just so immediately like, oh, she's about to kill this. Not because of the style, but just because of the way you carry yourself.
Thank you.
And like the way you're like just very calm with music, and you're like, yeah, I'll get up on stage and do this and this.
Mhm.
And it was so pretty. And as I said, your style's killer. So it matched very well. It meshed very well. And it was something that as a audience member, it was easy for me to just be like, damn, I needed that. Like, I needed to hear her
Thank you so
music.
much. That means a lot, really.
So
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that story because you are stunning. Y'all listen. Not only listen to November, she's got amazing stuff out. And I didn't even mention this. You have stuff that's like now aiming towards like rock country almost in a way. Like it's getting a little like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that.
Thank
I don't know
you.
if that's the way you would describe it, but it's just it feels like it's getting like a little bit more like with drums and the production's getting higher. And
Yeah. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I've
it sounds
definitely like kind of
good.
soul southern rock.
Oh
is
my
like what I'm
gosh, this
shooting for with
sounds so
this next
good.
record. So thank you. Man. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
But I also want to make sure, is there stuff we should know about what's coming? Like, what do we have coming?
So I'm working on my debut record right
Yes.
now.
How many songs?
So 13.
Woo!
And
That's
so I do have the title track to that out. It's called Shine Like Woman, and
Shine.
it's really cool. It's definitely very
That's
much in
out.
that.
Shine Like Woman's out.
Shine Like Woman
yes.
is out.
Oh yeah,
we
yeah. Here's the
released
cover
that.
art. Ding. Great song.
And thank you. And yeah, so that's kind of the direction that we're going, and it's more of like this roots rock thing. And I feel like I'm kind of honing in, like, what I really truly, what truly my vision is.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting really close to that finally. So that's going to be
Sweet.
coming out soon.
And do we have like a time period, like a season maybe?
I'm hoping for springtime.
Okay.
I'm really shooting for springtime.
This will be out
yeah.
by then, 100%. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me,
Of
man.
course.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. We're in Queen City ground, so always stay grounded.
Come on by.
Yes. We'll see y'all next time.